All right, so Joe Burrow wins the Heisman Trophy. You surprised in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah, that it wasn't unanimous, like all 1,900 voters.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, well, it did set a record, I think, for biggest margin, right?
Right.
Yeah. How about the fact that there was a year or two there where 3 of the 4 Heisman finalists this year were on the same team, Ohio
It's unbelievable.
State. It is.
And I wonder if that took votes away from one or the other. Probably not. Certainly not enough to overtake Burrow, a former teammate at Ohio State.
And I actually thought you could have put Dobbins in there as the 4th guy. You could have, if you wanted.
3 of them wound up being in the top 10 for the actual vote. All right, so here's how I voted. Do you care?
I do.
I now pronounce you. All right, so I had Burrow as number 1. You have to vote for 3, by the way. And the only rule they've ever given me, Jim, is you can't divulge who you voted for till after it's announced. That's the only rule. It doesn't say, could you nominate your buddy who's a real good touch football player on the East Side? You can't do that.
Just to get him a vote.
Just to get him to say, well, I was in the Heisman voting. All right, I had Burrow. Then my homerism came right into play here. I had Fields second.
Yeah.
That's not too homerish. That's legitimate.
No, I mean, 2 of the 3 left are Ohio State guys, so it's almost unavoidable.
Had no choice. So I picked number 3, Chase Young.
Ooh, good.
There was not an Ohio State vote. It was a cry out to let a defensive guy win sometime.
Yeah, it's unfortunate not unfortunate, but I mean, Burrow certainly deserves it. But Chase Young, in normal circumstances, you could have mounted a really serious argument for him to win the Heisman this year.
Yeah, this was the wrong year for it.
Yeah, it's too bad for him because he was just outstanding.
Jalen Hurts finished second, which surprised me. I would have voted for him 4th.
Yeah, that surprised me too. Yeah. I would have gone Burrow, and I would have done Young, Fields, and
so
Hurts.
Not too much of a disagreement.
Yeah.
You, of course, still are a Hall of Fame baseball voter, right?
Correct.
So because I know how that feels from the Heisman. Yes, it's fun, it's cool to say and cool to know, but I take it very seriously. You're talking about somebody's life here, and also history. If you're a sports history buff, it's pretty cool to be part of it. How do you feel about it?
Absolutely. I mean, I spend the better part of one full day when it comes to sit down and do my ballot because I really do take it serious because you're right. This affects people's lives and careers and everything. And there's a lot of tough calls in there, and there's some that aren't so tough. But the one thing that is unfortunate now that's happened in the last 6 or 8 years is it's almost open season on Hall of Fame voters now. It's like as soon as your vote gets, they actually put it out. The Hall of Fame puts they say, do you want your vote to be revealed after the results are? And I always say yes, but then there's people that'll go on there and see who voted for who and
hold it against them.
And it's almost gotten to the point where the vote itself takes a back seat to the attacks on the voters because how could you not vote for this guy? How could you vote for that guy?
It's also interesting that you vote for guys who you never saw play if you're going way back. And in the 40s and the 50s, let's say, Hopalong Cassidy. I never saw the guy play, yet I certainly have an image of what he is. And I wonder if in the 50s, if the Heisman winner kind of wound up clinching the Heisman in September.
Yeah, because there were much fewer games on TV back then. So if the candidate wasn't in your region where you maybe could go see one of his games, you're having to go by newspaper reports and that kind of thing and stats. So, but yeah, the baseball thing is and then the added steroid issue is another whole thing. So it's a lot more complicated than it used to be, where you just got the ballot and everyone. You didn't have to separate guys and that kind of thing.
Okay.